Welcome to the second episode of the CPM pod. This show is hosted by three friends who have all struggled with morbid obesity, and we have found a new lease on life. I'm Jordan.
I'm Ty.
And I'm Jesse.
Together, this is the CPM pod, and we're actually talking about potassium right now. We were starting this conversation. Ty's drinking Prime before the show, and we were talking last episode about Prime and Ty's juice addiction.
Yep.
And Jesse said that Prime didn't have good electrolytes. Jesse, what's up with the electrolytes in Prime?
Well, how did you even get the electrolytes? I know it's sodium, but I don't understand.
Yeah, what is an electrolyte?
Electrolytes are exactly what they sound like. It's the electricity within your body, right? The thing that's wrong with the formulation of electrolytes in Prime is that there's an extreme amount of potassium and almost no sodium. A hydration drink, similar to Gatorade, is meant to replenish the fluids that you're losing through exercise. That's why Gatorade was invented, and that's why, Prime is trying to compete with Gatorade, Powerade, and the like. The reason why Prime has such poor electrolytes is because they have very low sodium, and the reason for that is because they want it to taste good. If you've ever had like a Powerade or a Gatorade and you can feel that it's a little bit salty, that's because it needs that sodium in it to properly hydrate you, right? So the reason why Prime doesn't have sodium is so that it tastes better and people want to buy it more. But they compensate for that by saying we have more electrolytes. But what they're doing is they're adding potassium, which you don't really need. Like the average adult male only needs about 3,400 milligrams of potassium in a day.
So Prime is Prime better or worse for you than a Gatorade or something based on the difference in electrolytes?
I mean, it's not as good for you. If your goal is hydration, it's significantly worse for you, in fact. If your goal is hydration, a Gatorade, a Liquid IV, a Powerade are all significantly better. But if it's just a taste thing, there's nothing wrong inherently with drinking Prime. It definitely, to me, it does taste better. But again, that's because of a lack of sodium. And sodium is what's making Gatorade or Powerade or whatnot not taste as good, right? In reality, if you took the sodium out of Gatorade, it probably tastes just as good as Prime.
Let the record show. I think Gatorade tastes fine, and you're going to quit puking on Gatorade.
I don't have no problem with Gatorade.
No, Gatorade's actually fantastic. I love Gatorade.
Yeah.
Oh, so stop saying what you're saying.
Yeah, no, but okay, but what I'm saying,
Jesse, I think you like things really sweet, like you said.
I do like things really sweet,
like overly sweet.
But what I'm saying is, if I drink a Gatorade, I taste the salt in it.
Right, like a Prime to me tastes almost borderline too sweet, like you were saying, where a dash more sugar in a Prime, and I'm like, it's too sweet.
Okay, the next time you drink a Gatorade Zero, I want you to try and be conscious about the sodium.
No. You
okay,
I don't. Gatorade
So,
Zero is different. Gatorade tastes amazing, and I don't taste.
Okay, I agree with that. I only drink Gatorade Zero now. Okay, when I'm drinking a hydration thing.
Right, so why?
Yeah, but it's only like 15 calories, I think.
But what is the 15 calories compared to zero? Like, where is the 10 to 15 calories come from in those types of
Ty's
things?
got the bottle with him. Where are those calories coming from?
It doesn't say.
You
Prime, because it's not zero.
It's like 15 calories, right?
Well, this is 25.
Right.
Yeah, so we're asking where are those 25 calories? Are they carbs or?
It's the potassium.
There's 5 grams of carbs.
Are those carbs sugar?
Added sugar? No added, but carbs. I mean, carbs in general. So I don't know.
Now I'm curious if Gatorade Zero has. I know.
Well, it doesn't, because Gatorade Zero doesn't have, right? It's all zero.
Gatorade Zero has 10 to. It depends on the bottle. It has 5 to 15 calories.
But zero sugar, just zero sugar.
It's zero
so
sugar.
The zero is not 0 calories, it's just zero sugar.
Correct.
So earlier today, I had CPM Energy for the first time. By the way, this is fantastic. This is so good.
Exact rating.
Okay, so I shouldn't say this because people are going to judge me, but I had three different flavors of this today because I tried one of them. It was fantastic. Okay, this has 112 milligrams. So it's one of these is equivalent to a 12-ounce cup of coffee. So I had the first one. It was amazing.
What flavor?
So the first one was a peach mango.
Rate it.
Oh, nine out of 10. 9 out of 10. If we're going on the scale of energy drinks, 9.7 out of 10.
All right.
And a Red Bull, for the record, is like a classic Red Bull. A sugar Red Bull is, I'm going to give it a 5.3 out of 10. Just to kind of put the scale of how good this is.
I actually give Red Bull a 7.
A
Oh,
7?
that's really high, my man.
I like the taste of Red Bulls.
Oh, I do too. I'm saying that this is that much better. Like, I don't know how many energy drinks you've had. I drink a lot of energy drinks. So if I were to go to, like, White Monster, I imagine everybody's had a lot of White Monsters. I would put White Monster at a 7 out of 10.
Ooh, I think that's like a 6. I'll take a sugar-free Red Bull over a White Monster.
Oh, I think that's a bad take.
Yeah, I won't.
Bad take? All right.
Bad take. Yeah.
So you know that Gorilla Mine that you told me was actually really good.
Gorilla Mind is probably exactly on par with this. I would say that this and Gorilla Mind are the two best energy drinks I've had by a large margin. So this flavor was Orange Sunrise, and this I would say is very, very similar to the Gorilla Mind Orange Dreamsicle. Like it's almost on par. And like I told you before, I can't get Gorilla Mind products in Canada. This I can. This one can cost me $4.
Yeah, no crap.
It's unreal. It is unreal. But I also bought a ton of barbells or bear bells, sorry, and those also cost me $4.50 a bar.
Yeah, but those are the best thing.
Oh my god, bear bells are amazing.
Ever introduced to me are bear bells. Those protein bars are amazing. Dude.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Bear Bells are the best protein bar there is. Like they're the only protein bar that legitimately could, like, you could give it to me blindfolded and I would assume that it's a real chocolate bar.
Yeah.
I agree.
And there's no added sugar. 20 grams, like it meets the protein to calorie. The sugar alcohol doesn't get absorbed.
And that's why it's zero added sugar. So that's why I messed with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I turned.
And it meets the protein to calorie ratio. It's unreal.
He eats Snickers every day, and I'm like, dude, you got. And he's in shape, and I'm like, you got to stop eating Snickers and try these Bear Bells, the cookies and cream. He's like, Jordan, I haven't looked back.
Bro, the
flavor, the cookies and cream.
Bro, the cookies and cream might as well be with the Hershey's cookies and cream bar, man. They're unreal. They're so good.
You're pushing.
Yeah, no, it's better. I like it better than.
I like it better too. I like it better too, personally.
It's like a Three Musketeer type where it's kind of
I honestly, Bear Bells is better. They're better than most chocolate bars to me.
I agree.
I disagree, but they're up there.
All right, fair enough.
I want to ask Ty, do you drink caffeine?
No, I was going to say this podcast is going to take a turn for the worse because I despise caffeine and energy drinks. I don't think they're good for your heart.
I know they're probably not, but you don't drink any caffeine at all?
I don't.
Okay, but caffeine has a ton of medical benefits. You know that, right?
I get it, but I guess most of the energy drinks, like if you're doing the caffeine, I understand like black coffee is good for weight loss and appetite suppressants. I get it. So if you're doing
Greens,
that,
you never drink caffeine? Like,
how do you function?
Yeah, for real.
I'm a praying man, so I depend on God, but I don't know. I wake up early, like my routine is, and you know I'm about to start 75 hard. Like I'm literally going to be running off with no sleep for the next 75 days, working out twice a day. But I don't know how I do it, dude. I don't do caffeine drinks. I don't drink energy drinks, coffees, none of that.
Starbies, nothing.
What about, like you said you like Arnold Palmer's? That's iced tea, is it not?
Tea has caffeine.
Yeah.
Well, so that's before I was doing this journey. This is the closest thing I get to a sugary
drink. Okay, so you used to drink caffeine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't drink any besides
pre-workout.
You got me.
There's the pre-workout has
so
caffeine.
Pre-workout has a large amount of caffeine in it.
You got me.
So you don't drink caffeine like in a liquid form on the regular, but a pre-workout, right, to give you the boost before your pump, right?
Correct.
So then, okay, so let me ask you this then: if you're anti-caffeine and you think that it's bad for you,
wait, see, look, this is there to start.
He didn't say anti, you're right, Jesse. Don't.
Okay, no, but you said that it's bad for your heart. So you said that you don't take caffeine or you don't drink caffeine, right? So no, let me get to my question.
I was gonna let you get there. This is something anti-caffeine.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
So
I got you.
If you try not to drink caffeine,
Yeah,
why do you not get a non-stim pre-workout?
I didn't know that was a
It's
thing.
terrible.
So,
Don't do it. It's
Yeah,
garbage.
don't do it. They suck.
Hold on.
But they do suck. The whole point of a pre-workout is you need that caffeine stimulus.
the thing.
So did you just not know that caffeine is in pre-workout?
But no, I did, but I guess I was already addicted to it because like
Oh, okay. So
I worked out without pre-workout before. There's a big difference. Like I don't know. It's like my heart. It's the caffeine. It's like I can feel the pump.
see, I only take pre-workout maybe once every 2 weeks or so, and that's literally just because I drink enough caffeine in my day-to-day life that I don't really need the extra energy.
My pre-workout is not this. I took one scoop of this. This is full, and it's funny because isn't this C-Bums too, the raw?
And it's non-stim.
I took one. That's why you said it. I took one scoop of this, and it did nothing, and I don't use it. I don't use it at all.
Well, a non-stim pre-workout is going to help with like the pump effects of a pre-workout, but it's not going to give you the energy, which is almost entirely driven by the caffeine, right? So
And there is the ingredient. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's the alanine, which is the one that gives you kind of the tingle. Right?
yeah, and the L-citrulline.
The citrulline, and yeah. See, this is 5 grams in a scoop, but non-stim.
I mean,
so
I've never taken the product.
Non-stim. Don't do it, Ty.
I mean, it's night and day. 100% it is.
How often do you drink pre-workout?
Before every resistance training,
How many days a week?
4. So
4 days a week.
and then I do 2 scoops at that. So I double.
Oh,
scoop.
you do 2 scoops. All right, so that's bro. You're
one of
drinking
us.
as
You're
much
one of
caffeine as I do.
You're one of us.
You are on when you're taking 2 scoops of pre-workout. That's more caffeine than I have in a day, and I drink a lot of caffeine. Like I don't think you understand how much caffeine. Yeah,
two cans. I drink 200 milligram cans. One at the gym during my workout, and then one on my way to work.
Yeah, I don't.
And that's my cap.
I don't think
can't
you
drink
know
more.
how much caffeine is in pre-workout because 2 scoops is a lot of caffeine.
Okay, so let me ask you something. All right, I actually love this conversation. So my whole fear of drinking too much caffeine being bad for your heart. Am I doing the same thing? I guess that like my fear. Am I doing that with the pre-workout?
I think so.
Yeah.
So I gotta. I'm gonna stop.
I think it's
taking
the
pre-workout.
same. Well,
No,
I don't think
bro.
You need to.
I think it's in
Anxiety
your
feeling
head.
you get, right? I think it is too. I think that feeling that you get is normal. Obviously, you don't want to overwhelm your heart, but I think being obese is 10 times worse than the caffeine in terms of health for your heart.
100%.
So you're using the pre-workout to give you a boost in circulation so your heart beats faster, but as long as you're not at like 180 BPMs for 30 straight minutes, right? If you feel your heart beating out of your chest and your watch is telling you that your heart rate is too high, then be concerned. But I think with a good pump, like, there's nothing wrong with it.
No, my heart at the most will go to 168, but that's like when I'm doing a new set, like a new weight. Of course, your heart's gonna, because it's gonna take more energy. But like I'm like at phase 2.
Has Coach Kier ever given you sled pushes?
No.
No, those will get your heart rate right up there.
Okay, yeah, he has to give me that. Oh wait, we got.
I think
beef.
yeah, I think when I started doing sled pushes, I remember my heart rate hitting like 175 for the entire set, and a set of sled pushes can take like 2 minutes. So I remember being like a little freaked out how high my heart rate would be. I'd finish the set and I'm sitting there staring at my watch like go down. I mean, it's honestly, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like Jordan was saying, like if your heart is beating fast, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And
It's not for too long.
as long as it's
And
not for
such
too
a-
long, and
I think, right, as far as I know.
yeah, I mean, I'm not a cardiologist. This is not medical advice, but
We are not experts.
there's a lot of health benefits to caffeine, right? It's an appetite suppressant. It gives you energy. Energy helps you move more. Movement makes you healthy. There's minimal downside to caffeine unless you're overdoing it. You shouldn't overdo it. Like I said, people are going to judge me for drinking 3 of these because that also wasn't the only I drank more caffeine than these 3. I shouldn't have, but I did.
How many milligrams do you have a day, do you think? Like, what's the most you've had?
I would say on average, a day for me is probably around 400. That's why I said Ty is probably drinking as much as I do, because in 2 scoops of pre, 400 milligrams in 2 scoops. Okay, so you're having 400 milligrams every
So
day.
the same. So you're right there with us, the same amount.
Yeah.
So hopefully, experts, anybody out there with solid advice, please let us know how much caffeine do you drink daily, and is 400 milligrams safe? I think we're drinking 400. Is it safe? And how much do you drink? Let us know.
I definitely have a caffeine problem to the point where some days I'll have 800 for sure. But on days that I have 400, it's very spread out, right? Like it'll be like 200 in the morning, 200 in the afternoon, 400 at like pre-workout kind of thing, right? If I need an extra kick before a workout, basically. Because I pretty much always have roughly 200 in the morning, and that just kind of gets me through my day. And then often I'll have an energy drink in the afternoon at some point just because I enjoy them. Like I legitimately enjoy the taste of energy drinks, especially ones like these. This is why these kind of products are dangerous, because this is so freaking good, right? Like the Gorilla Mind one too.
That's why I like Rise. My favorite right now is Rise.
Rise is very good. Rise is actually, I use Rise pre-workout.
Yeah,
Rise has very good products.
I started with White Monster, and then I tried Bang and all of those. Rain.
I don't like Bangs. They have a weird aftertaste.
Now, but Rise, and especially like the Hawaiian Punch or the Fruit Punch Rise, the Country Time Lemonade, Sunny D. Maybe it's just nostalgic flavors, but I enjoy that. Does it give me a sugar rush if it's no sugar?
A lot of people say, you know, like diet soda or whatever, any aspartame product, it's going to make you crave things because it's like sugar to your brain. It is like sugar to your brain in the sense that you're getting a sweet craving and it's satisfying that sweetness, but it's not going to spike your insulin or anything, which is generally where cravings are drawn from.
And I'll tell anybody this, and I'll look right into the camera and I say, I've given up thousands of calories of food a day. I'm going to enjoy my caffeine 200 milligrams at a time and in a can. Thank you very much.
I love it. I do the same with my diet soda, man. You try to take my diet soda away from me, I'm going to be eating 3,000 calories a day more. Let me have my diet soda, damn it.
Do we know the milligrams of caffeine and Bang? I'm asking because when I used to work for FedEx, I had to stop drinking Bang because I felt like I was on cocaine.
I don't know, but before I look it up, I'm going to guess 180. Now I'm going to look it up.
Say about there, probably I think it's less than 200, maybe 150 to 180. Yeah,
so what
right.
was because if I'm drinking 400 milligrams before my workout and I feel normal, when I used to drink a Bang, I literally felt like I was souped up on cocaine. I was running to people's doors.
Bang did have that.
Okay, they have. Okay, I was way off. Bang has 300 milligrams per can.
Oh wow, yeah,
that's a lot.
Okay, I got you. So I was drinking 4.
Yeah,
four Bangs.
4 Bangs. Bro,
1,200 milligrams. All right, so you have a caffeine you
were flying, my God. You were flying.
Yeah.
Bro,
that's hilarious.
I was driving down the street sweating profusely. When I was getting to people's houses, I was like running to their house. Like it was bad.
That's a lot of caffeine. Bad. That's bad for your heart.
Okay. That's bad for your heart.
That's really bad for your heart.
Well, again, we're not medical. We're not medical.
Don't take our advice.
If you're drinking 4 Bangs and everything is fine, I'm pretty sure that's too much.
I don't think you were fine, dude. You need help.
You need help. Seek help if you're drinking 1,200 milligrams of caffeine a day. A lot of gym rats are really bad for that. A lot of gym rats will drink, 2 energy drinks throughout the day, and then they'll also have 2 scoops of pre-workout.
Yeah, I don't.
And that's what I was saying. Like days where I get to 800, that's how I'm getting to 800. It's because I'm drinking energy drinks throughout the day, and then I'll also have 2 scoops of pre. And yeah, that adds up real quick.
You guys, I appreciate this episode so far because I didn't know these things. I had a fear of caffeine, and you guys are putting.
You're drinking it more than you know.
Way more than I know. 400 milligrams a day, at least 4 days a week. So
well, there you go. Though that in and of itself is kind of like reassurance that it's not really that bad for you, though, because if it were, you would have been experiencing ill effects by now, would you not?
Correct.
right?
I agree.
So it's essentially telling you that on days that you're not taking pre-workout, if you feel like you need a black coffee, it's not going to be the end of the world.
Well, I mean, and now I know my range obviously is 400 milligrams, so I need this.
There you go.
And so I'm a changed man. I'm reformed. I'm a reformed caffeine.
In the same episode.
The same episode.
We've come full
30 minutes
circle.
ago, I don't drink caffeine.
Lo and behold, I was drinking it freaking 4 days a week. I didn't.
So this episode is caffeine.
This episode brought to you by caffeine.
Definitely
Yeah,
brought to you
there's
by
a lot of
not
caffeine,
brought
right?
to you by CPM Energy, but you can try it. It's pretty good.
Or raw, non-stim.
No,
Not the non-stem.
It's raw is good. Flavor's good. The pump isn't there without the stim, in my opinion.
Fair enough. I mean, you did. To be fair, you only tried it one day, so it may have just
Give
been,
me more caffeine. Okay,
Yeah.
I smashed your gorilla mines on my head.
bro. Like, okay, so in Canada, so many products for us you just can't get here that
Oh,
you
yeah,
have there.
I need
So
to hear this.
every time I'm in the States, I load up on these things, right? Like I think the last time I was in Vegas, I probably was drinking 2 Gorilla Mines a day because they're so freaking good and you cannot get them. Like if I were willing to pay $10 a can, I legitimately cannot get them here. Right? Which is unreal.
You
That
must be
shouldn't.
making a lot of money. You're paying a lot of money on
Okay.
candy. You're loaded over here.
Okay, I'm not loaded. I'm just financially irresponsible. There's a difference.
But then you got to pay for the extra carry-on bag just to bring home all your soda.
Last trip, so I just came back from Vegas a few months ago. I had my carry-on, my personal item, and my luggage. My luggage alone was filled with food products and some clothes from the outlet malls there. My carry-on was filled with food products, and my personal item had all my clothes in it. Berea protein pasta, Protein Plus, you can't get here. It literally will cost me like $12 a box to get here. There, you can get it for like $2.79, I think I paid per box. I bought 20-something boxes of pasta home. Berea Protein Plus is the only protein pasta that doesn't taste terrible. I've tried all of them. I promise it's the only one that's as close as a 1-to-1 for regular pasta as you're gonna find.
I agree.
Yeah.
Why
and
is none of that stuff available? Is it just a Canada thing? Is it your town is small? Like,
no, I'm in a
get
major
any of
city.
that?
I'm in a major metropolitan city. It's that a lot of it just isn't produced here, so a lot of it they just don't import, right? Like
That just proves how unhealthy American food is. You have to try to get unhealthy stuff.
yes and no though, because I'm trying to buy the healthy stuff,
okay,
right?
So how accessible is a can of Coke with 40 grams of sugar?
Oh, very accessible,
And how cheap?
very cheap.
So they want you. So you have
But
to pay
Coke Zero is just as accessible as Coke,
So
right?
you
Like
just like the exotics.
right. Well, it's things that I can't get here. Yes, they're exotic, I guess, per se, in the fact that the sense that I can't get them here. That's not my fault. That's just reality, right? Like that Dr. Pepper creamy coconut that I bought a ton of. Yes, I paid $21 per 12 pack. $21 per 12 pack. That is obscene. But I did because they're nectar of the gods and it is the greatest soda that's ever existed. And it kills me that Dr. Pepper is going to discontinue that.
They also changed the recipe. There's no factual information on this, but it doesn't taste the same.
Also, fun fact for you guys, Dr. Pepper is its own entity, right? Like Dr. Pepper is Dr. Pepper.
Not a Pepsi or a Coke.
Here,
product, right?
here it's a Pepsi product, right? So Dr. Pepper is made and manufactured by Pepsi. That's why I only get Dr. Pepper Zero and I don't get any of the fun flavors. So, yeah, it's you know there's a ton of those things like Bear Bells. They cost me $5 a bar. For you guys, you can get them at Trader Joe's for $2 a bar. Like that's
pack for 10.
that is an obscene price. Like a pack of 12 for me is $60. And I literally just bought a 12 pack yesterday.
Hey Jordan, we have to do better with sending our brother food, man. 'Cause it's
Man, that could
But
be
like,
like.
even like okay, so like there's so many
He's
things.
gotta send us food. He's making all that money. Shoot.
There's so many things that Americans just take for granted though, like Greek
It's a
yogurt.
bad thing.
Greek yogurt, man. You guys get like the Light and Fits. Those things are freaking amazing. Those are so good. Here, I pretty much only get Oikos, and I don't even get Oikos 000. Like we have a Oikos low fat and a low Oikos high protein versions, but we don't have 000.
And we don't look for that one you told me, Ty. That one. Remember you did.
Ratio.
I have still.
Yeah, we also don't get ratio either.
I wanted my fridge.
Bust it out. Let's see it.
All right. I'm turning my camera on, guys. I'll be right back.
So I do eat Greek yogurt a lot, though. I eat a lot of Greek yogurt. And
what's your go-to Greek yogurt?
Well, now I do the Sam's Club protein Greek yogurt. I used to buy the big pack, but I prefer the super now. I like the 20 grams. But you know what I did really like? It's not a protein specific yogurt, but for my breakfast, the Oikos zero sugar, whatever, but they have a cookies and cream, and I do that with.
See, we don't get that either.
Oh,
and like, we even get Oikos products, but we don't get any of like the good flavors. Yeah. You guys have I can't remember the brand, but there's like the
shelves must just be boring in your grocery store.
They are, dude, bro, for real. But like you get like those yogurts where you can like you have like a Chobani Flip, I think they're called. Yeah. Right. We don't get those. Like all the fun, tasty stuff. We don't get any of it.
I wouldn't add the toppings now in my mindset, but like I didn't really care for the strawberry cheesecake, but it has vanilla, blueberry.
The key lime one is fantastic.
I love lime flavors. I love citrus. I love lime.
Key lime one is very good.
Oh, this ratio.
25 grams of protein, baby.
How is it achieving that 25 grams? Does it have whey in it? Or is it just like kind of like it does have whey in it?
It has whey in it, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say because I don't think you can get that much protein into a yogurt.
Yeah.
Because you like the way that like Oikos, for example, 000, it kind of works like Fairlife, right? Like you know how Fairlife's protein is literally just the milk, right? Whereas if you look at like say a muscle milk or a Premier Protein, whatever those kind of products, those are just water with whey protein in them.
Got you. I just saw a video about Core, or that's what we talk about, Core, right?
Yeah, well, Fairlife products, Fairlife in general, because it's milk that's filtered very refinedly until it's just the protein essentially.
And I saw a video of a dude explaining that because he never understood why does their products taste so good. Like it's because it's milk. It's just What's the word you said?
It's ultra filtered.
There you go. It's ultra filtered.
So it's not, right? I've always stayed away from Fairlife because I thought it was just chocolate milk.
Essentially, it is.
It essentially is, but it's chocolate milk in the healthiest possible form.
Correct.
And the highest protein version you can get without having lactose in it, right? Because that's what the filtering process is taking out all the lactose and the fat, and that's why it's able, like, Fairlife shake, the ones you get from Costco, they're 150 calories with 30 grams of protein. Protein is 4 calories a gram. That means of that 150 calories, 120 grams of that is pure protein. So it's essentially only 30 calories. Like 30 calories is what exists outside of protein, right? If you're thinking of protein as I need to get as much protein in a day as possible, Fairlife, like those Fairlife shakes have better protein to calorie ratio than chicken breast.
Dang.
Better protein to calorie ratio than literally almost anything that exists, other than literally straight whey protein isolate with water. Because
no more.
Even that, most of them has carbs, right? Most whey protein is not 30 grams of protein, 120 calories. Because if it were, it would taste like horrible, right? They all have some amount of carbs or some amount of fats in them to make them taste better. So, yeah, those Fairlife shakes are legitimately, I mean, I don't want to say the best, but they're,
based, right?
Yeah, of course it's opinion based, but you have to keep in mind that these Fairlife, like a lot of people will be like, oh, this is processed food. It's not. It is literally milk. It is quite literally milk. Especially if you're drinking there's literally Fairlife milk. And that is literally just ultra filtered milk. It is from a cow. It is a whole food. It is very high protein. It is very good for you. And a lot of people talk bad about Fairlife, saying that it's processed. Sure, if you're drinking a chocolate Fairlife, some amount of it is processing. They need to make it taste good. But as far as protein to calorie ratio goes, good luck
Fire.
beating it. Good luck beating that.
Fire.
Good luck beating that while tasting good, because Fairlife chocolate shakes are actually legitimately, you could blindfold me, I would think it's chocolate milk. It's okay. That's a little bit pushing it.
Hey, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jordan.
No, I said it's like a little chalky, but that's
Yeah,
normal
like
with protein. That's normal. Like with the protein yogurt, I bet that probably does it have like a little bit of a chalky texture?
This
Like
one?
yeah.
Heck no. That's why I
No?
love it. It
Oh,
tastes
it's
like yogurt.
Yeah, it's not like 'cause, the protein it does it's kind of
Bro,
like
I had this stocked up in my fridge. Like I've tried, just like we said, we tried every diet fat. I've tried every protein yogurt. This blows. This is like the fair life of yogurts. I'm not playing. I wish you guys could get it. I wish I could just give it to you so you can taste it right now. It tastes like yogurt. If you
Bro.
gave this to me and I wasn't on the health bench that said try this yogurt, I would not know it was a difference. I wouldn't know it was protein yogurt. Would you try this one?
it depends on the sugar, how much added sugar's in it. That's what I care about.
When is you said you're stopping after a year, or not stopping, but you're going to take a break?
That's what I'll celebrate, right? So I planned it, right? So 1 year, it's from the music festival, right? It's a pretty significant music festival in Vegas, and so it's important to me. And my friends are playing a set at that festival.
When is this?
October 4th, 5th, and 6th, to be exact.
Okay.
So it's going to be 4 days short of 365 days, but give me a break. I'm human. You didn't go a whole year. And
All
that's
right, bro,
crazy.
but I'm just
That's-
saying now, when we're recording CPM episode 50 or whatever it is, I'm totally ragging you for that.
Oh,
Fine.
man.
It's fine. Ragging me for what part, though?
For the 4 days, bro.
Oh, I know how. You didn't go a full year. You lied to yourself. And we only lie to ourselves when we let ourselves down, right? Nobody else is holding, like, I'm not holding you guys as accountable as we have to hold ourselves. Right?
100%.
So in the day to day, I think it's so important to not let myself down. That's why the 1 year is so important. And I think that in a life that I want to live X amount of years, I want to live to be 80, 85, right? And longer. Of course, you want to be as old as you can, right? Like, no, it's a blessing to see your birthday every single year, because a lot of people
For
don't
sure.
get to see their birthday. They don't get to see their first or whatever year it is. I lost both of my parents young, and so I strive to give myself a chance to be that healthy. In the perspective of life, I really wanted to isolate 1 year in 80 that I want to live, 365 days to prove to myself. And that's why I'm just so dialed in. I think internally with me, if I went on a band tour with rock stars, I was mind boggled at the people there. If I gave in to my temptation of the catering, the alcohol, the environment, I would only let myself down. And I think that's the most important thing, doing it for me. I don't know where that came from, but I just felt like
No,
Yeah.
for sure. I think a good point from there though is that it's not always just about keeping yourself accountable. Like, it's about keeping everyone around you accountable in a degree. Like, your community is extremely important. The people that you have around you, and the people that kind of push you to keep being better, right? Like, I'm sure Ty, your wife, I know my wife, and even like you guys, right? Like, friends, people around you, you're doing it for you, absolutely, but it's also like you have people around you that you care about, that want you to succeed, and you want to succeed for them too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
you guys don't have kids, huh? But you guys don't have kids yet.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's like a big thing for you,
You
right?
guys want to have kids? Well, that's where it shifted, right? From my relationship to my children. Now it's like a father first, right? Do you guys want to have kids? Is it just life is there? I mean, I'm not asking on any personal level, right? But just in general. Because that's where I want to live now for my kids. So you guys haven't experienced that feeling yet of doing it for your kids. So it's harder to do it for yourself and for your spouse, I think, because my kids give me so much purpose. And without them, I don't know if I would have been able to find the purpose within myself, which I admire your guys' strength to do that without that push, right? Like, what is your purpose because I can't imagine without my kids. I need to watch my daughter get old and my son get old, right? And you guys had to find it within yourself first. Well, I mean, I had to also, but
I think mine was probably the public accountability. Like, um,
Like
me,
posting on Instagram?
yeah, yeah, me posting like again, like I said when I started at first, it was just like I'm gonna just do this until I can't do it anymore. I know I'm gonna feel it, but in posting, there's a lot of people that relate to my story and they're rooting for me. Not only rooting for me, but they're inspired to do their own journey based off what I'm doing. So it's like I have to kind of live up to my name now. You know what I'm saying?
do you think if you didn't have to, if you didn't want people to perceive you or like, oh, he gave up, right? Because you
I would
only,
dark.
was it a month?
Only thing I sustained for the month of April was push-ups. My diet was crap. I gained 15 pounds in April. Like like April was rough.
I
Um,
thought you were gonna go the
So
other way when that happened. When you stopped posting your weight for a couple weeks with the question marks,
mhm.
I thought you were just gonna kick it down and be down like 50 pounds by then. I didn't know you were struggling.
Bro, I was struggling because a post went viral again, but instead of positive feedback, it was negative feedback. I think that was my first time experiencing social media on the negative side. I was getting on, and I was just used to everybody being encouraging, but it was like, "Oh, you're fat. Your titties are this, and that." And my parents on my page, people saying stuff about my parents, and it was like it was affecting me. It was like, bro, like my parents have nothing to do with this. Like, talk about me, I can dish it all day, but you talk about my family. I don't know. It was
That's different.
yeah.
so on the post that I had that went viral that I got a ton of hate on, and realistically that's the only reason it went viral. The only thing that bothered me about getting all those hate comments was like my mom might read these. You know, like that was the only thing that bothered me whatsoever. None of it really affected me. I grew up fat in the 90s. Like I have pretty thick skin. You could say just about anything to me and I'm not going to be offended or hurt by it. But like it bothers me that there's a chance that my mom's sitting there reading all that and she's like upset about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know my wife read some of it and it bothered her. Like
Things
when it
bother
first
you,
started.
Ty?
um,
The is that what sent you into the spiral for a little
bro,
bit?
it's crazy. Just like Jesse, I grew up in the '90s as well, so I've been big all my life. I actually have really thick skin. I don't know what it was. I think it was really so. It was my nutrition. I didn't understand what it was at the time, but it was like I'm working out every day. I had a fire first month. I lost 20 pounds, and then after that, I felt like I was letting not myself down, but people down. It was like, yo, people are watching, and I feel like I'm not going anywhere, and I feel like people are they're pulling my card now. You know what I'm saying? And granted, in hindsight, that's not what it was, but that's what it felt like at that moment. So,
When did you start with Ben, Ty?
like the last week of January, so
And
maybe the top of February.
so when did you guys have that conversation? I know last episode you were talking about how you guys kind of sat down and he walked you through, you know, how to build your calories, how protein works and those sort of things. When was that conversation?
That was the very first conversation, and so obviously we still have those conversations, but you know how someone can tell you something, but it doesn't really resonate.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's like he was telling me, and of course we hear it all the time.
Oh
80%
yeah,
guys. So it's like, yeah, I knew these things, but I think it just set in when I was like, yo, I'm not losing any weight. Like I kept, if you go back and look from January to like April, I stayed with it was like I lose 20 pounds and then I go up to 14. So it was like 2014, and then people were saying that in the comments. So I think it just messed with me because I wasn't getting any progress. You get what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah.
for sure.
Have you tried to have you guys upped the intensity of your workout since then, or in like the period aside from adjusting your eating and calories? We haven't touched much on exercise, right? And I know we're getting to the end of this episode, but did you up your intent, have you upped your intensity in exercise?
So I actually went harder when I first started. I'm actually not working out nearly as hard when I first started. Here's the secret that people don't know, but I don't care. When I first started, I was really working out every day. Again, not saying I'm not now. The push-ups are a form of exercise, but when I first started, January, February, I was legit walking in the morning, lifting. I was doing top work at the time. So I was walking in the morning. After that, push-ups. Like, I was doing everything.
I remember seeing your walk map, and you walked in a straight line, like 4 miles, and I
Yep.
was like, man, he's walking so far, and I was like, it's such a straight line.
Yep.
And I was admiring. I was like, dude, you're walking like 4 miles. Like, you were walking for like an hour and a half straight.
Every day.
Yeah,
But
straight. I remember that. And
but
so now
now
you don't work out as much?
So now I only do resistance training 4 days a week. My exercising every day is really the push ups. I know at first I was saying that's not my exercise, but that's the only thing I'm doing every day. Outside of the push ups, I do resistance training 4 days a week. I barely doing cardio. I know people go crazy like you have to do cardio. I only do 10 minutes of cardio for a warm up. After that is resistance training and a good diet.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that when you, in April, you started to really focus on your diet, do you think that cutting calories is part of the reason that you don't work out as much? Like you just don't have as much energy?
No, it's not that. So before April, Coach Kier was actually talking to me about this. I was getting burnt out because, again, before April, I was literally working out every day. It doesn't help that I'm about to do 75 hard, and it's like I'm literally about to be doing the same thing again. But I'm mentally prepared for it this time. I wasn't mentally prepared for it at the top of the year. And while we're on this subject, for the people listening and watching it, I would not recommend doing 75 hard if you don't have like a discipline of working out already, because 75 hard is very extreme. And the whole, if you miss a workout, you got to start over. That's not a good mindset to go into when you're just starting. I don't think Vicky, she posted a video with a dude talking about that, but I agree. I think that's something you should do like when you're in it. Like I'm down in, as Jordan said, I'm like I'm locked in right now. So it's like
You got to be ready to flip the switch for
You
real.
have
Like
to.
you can't, right? And well, 75 hard, I think, because that my first 75 days was that, and I say 75 hard, but could it have been a medium 75? Yes, but I drank the water, I read the book, I didn't have cheat meals, but my exercises weren't 2 45-minute full lifting sessions. So if you walk for
It's not
30
supposed to be,
minutes
right?
in the
It's
morning
not.
and do
Yeah.
a gym workout, right? If you walk twice a day for 30 to 45 minutes, I think you're winning. If
But
you
it's
do that for 75 days, don't beat yourself up over not getting 45-minute workout. It just says exercise twice for 45 minutes. One has to be outside,
That's
which
what
is
it
the
is.
That's what
yeah.
yeah. If you're doing 2 lifting sessions a day, you should
you
stop.
can't do that, right?
That's bad for
Well, you
you.
don't even
That's
need
not
to do like
sustainable.
intense cardio
Well,
and
it's-
a lifting session. You just need to, I think, keep
Yeah,
moving
just
twice
yeah,
a
just
day.
get out for a walk in the sun. It's not even that it's not sustainable. Lifting twice a day would legitimately be bad for you, right?
Yeah, it
Your
can't
body can't
you
recover from
can't,
that.
yeah.
Building muscle doesn't happen in the gym. Building muscle happens in recovery, right? In the gym, you're just putting the strain on the muscle so that it knows that it needs to grow. If you're not giving your body time to recover, and kind of going back to Jay's question about if my workouts have intensified, mine have also been reduced, and that's because I was doing too much and I wasn't seeing any progressive overload, because at one point I was doing 3 days on, 1 day off with lifting. And on my day off, I was doing HIIT cardio, right? So I was lifting 6 out of 8 days, and I was doing
8
HIIT
days a
cardio.
week?
So 6 out of 8
Oh,
days.
yeah, I got you.
Because I didn't have to like set days a week. I would do 3 days on, one
No
rest day.
matter
3
what,
days
so
on,
you
one
wouldn't
rest. For me, all of last summer and the beginning of fall, that's what I did. And then it got to a point where my progressive overload stalled. And in fact, it's been stalled for a while now, but I'm not eating enough to keep putting on muscle. I'm eating very high protein, but generally speaking, once you get past the newbie gains phase, it's very difficult to put on muscle when you're in a caloric deficit.
What was
Like
your
it's,
max? Like, what's your max bench right now?
oh, my bench is bad, man. My max bench
Like a
is
plate? Like I'm only
one
at a plate
one
right now. which is like a
155.
You're benching more than I. Oh, I haven't benched this round, but I'm only benching a plate, which is 135.
Yeah. My legs are really strong. My squat is
Any
four.
big guy, we've got thighs.
Yeah.
We all know.
Yeah.
We all got legs.
If I need to feel like I need to flex on somebody, then we're going to the leg press, all right?
I tell you what,
Plates for
muscle,
days to put the leg press to work, man.
I just go reps, but I mean, rest to like, I guess my point in general with the 75 hard though was you don't have to have too extensive workouts to consider it 75 hard. You could do 75 hard with medium intensity, even light to medium intensity workouts.
Oh, for sure.
It's about the consistency for 75 days. And if you drink the water, don't have cheat meals, and reading helped. I read like 2.5 books, and I read like investing books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and like Atomic Habits, and reading opened my mind so much. So I man, Ty, I'm with you, man. You just see, yeah, I have 2 more months on this plan. I'm dialed in with this V shred, and I don't want to cross, right? So I just started week 4. I got to do 2 more months, and then I think in the fall, let's start a CPM fitness challenge for everybody out there. We could host it, all 3 of us. Let's see what we can do.
I like that idea.
Let's think about it.
Bro, there's this whole like fitness community, even just on Instagram, but in general, like the fitness community is all such amazing people. Every single coach I meet is just such an awesome person, and they're always so willing to like just help people. In general, they'll invest their time. You always hear about how coaches are like rude or mean or whatever. Bro, they're just trying to help you. They yell at you because they care.
Stitches sometimes though. Don't get on Jesse's bad side. He'll call you out.
Oh no, because there was that one dude that tried him.
I know. The coach the other day. You're like, this is from a coach.
That's why it drove me so mad, man. Because
that's terrible for the coach to do that.
Yeah, because that's the complete antithesis of what a coach is supposed to be. As unreal to me.
To mock somebody in like, right, no matter
that's
what,
trying to better themselves.
In anybody you see it now at the gym, anywhere I go, anybody, I have even more passion now that, you know, people call me slim, and so I guess I look at somebody if they're bigger than me, I'm so proud and happy of anybody out there working, because I still feel like I'm that same person, even though my physical is changing. I'm still that same fat kid in my heart, man, and I'm just trying to get
for
better.
Real. Every time somebody makes a comment like, "Oh, bro, you're so confident," like I posted a video today where I was literally rapping to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was, first of all, hitting submit to even post that video.
I know.
It was like, even posting that video was very difficult for me, and I had like 3 people comment like, "Bro, you're so confident to be able to post that." I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm still a 500-pound kid in my like. I'm still a 500-pound kid that like struggles to get in front of a camera. Like even right now,
lived in Daytona.
Right now, I'm looking at you guys. I can't be looking at myself on the camera, or I'll start to feel self-conscious. Right? Like when I'm recording things, it almost legitimately bothers me. And when I go to edit them, I hate it. I hate editing myself. I hate looking at it. And then I just have to grit my teeth and post it.
Look at yourself and be like, damn, I look good.
Some days I do. Some days I do. There are days where I have more confidence than others. I spent so long being 500 pounds and being that guy that if somebody pointed a camera at me, I'm going like this.
I don't have pictures. I don't have pictures from...
I have so few pictures from when I was my biggest. In fact, I say that my biggest was 524. Chances are it was over 550. For all I know, I was at 600. I have no idea. Because for a long time, I legitimately couldn't stand on a scale and it give me a number.
It's hard.
524 is just the only number that I've, like, the first time I actually saw a scale work. I have no idea how big I was ever actually. 524 was maybe I want to say maybe 3 weeks into like me eating 1,200 calories a day. And at the time, so just to give a perspective of how easy it is to lose weight when you're that big, I went from 524 to 440 over the course of maybe 4 months.
I think there's levels to weight loss. There's so many the levels to weight loss. From 500 pounds, look at bears. They eat and they hibernate in the winter because they survive off of their own fat. When you're 450,
this is not
medical advice. But do you have enough fat to give yourself energy for a long time? I think at that point, and that's why so much fasting and there. Ty, you're so lucky, bro. You didn't hit that. Like, there's a 450. Like, you're there. Like 392. You said 390. At 450, I felt so. At 300, I never felt as bad as I did at. And 500, I'm just like that, dude. I just feel it in my heart when you say that. Like,
Bro, it was bad. It was like needing, like, I couldn't stand for more. Like, when I first started, it was literally, I switched to trying to get only whole foods, of course. So I was eating chicken breast literally every single day. And for me to cook a chicken breast, it was put it in the pan, go sit down. Get up, flip it, go sit down. Like, I couldn't stand there and cook a chicken breast.
I wish you documented from the freaking beginning, dude. Like,
I wish I did too, looking back now.
Too. Yeah, I wish I did that first 75 days, dude, from 450. Just like I was just so worried about it.
It's crazy to me when I see some of these content creators that have a ton of video clips from when they were bigger. Like, I don't know how you could. I struggle to fathom. Like, I feel like they must have wanted to be content creators before they even started. Before they even started losing weight. Because I don't understand how you take the camera, point it at yourself, and say these things. Like, to me, it almost feels like they only lost weight to get the clout of losing the weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, like, some people, like, they just have like 100 different clips of them, like, being like, oh man, I can't wait till I lose this weight, and they're 200 pounds heavier or whatever. You know what I mean?
Like, today I'm gonna change, and then they flip the switch.
Yeah, exactly.
Afraid of the camera, Ty? You were never afraid of the, like? Were you ever afraid of the camera?
No. So there's things you guys don't know about me.
Yeah.
Not only did I do a podcast before, I used to rap. So I was in front of cameras all the time.
Oh, so you could have killed the Fresh Prince.
I did the whole version. Did you know there's 3 verses to that song, not just 2?
Oh, but yeah, I mean, I did like the first, like, first of all, I redid the lyrics because I'm a lyricist. But yeah, I did maybe like 3 lines.
I'm gonna go watch this video when we get off.
We're gonna need some rap battles on the CPM pod. Is what's gonna happen over here. We're gonna have to allow ourselves to get off topic sometimes and have some fun and get to know, like, because I want to know, like, you as a musician, man. Music is a passion of mine. Like, I would love to hear your music stories and more about what makes us tick.
I just have to say, I think it's hilarious that we came into recording this episode with an idea of what we're going to talk about. We've been talking for an hour, and at no point have we mentioned any of those things.
What Jordan was saying, he knew this was going to happen. He was like, bro, this
yeah, we're just 3 buddies talking, honestly.
If there's no structure, it's just going to be all over the place. But this is the best way for it, right?
Hopefully people are enjoying it.
I think they will. I know before we go, because it is over an hour. Whenever we release this episode, I'll release a clip of me rapping.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Do you still actively write? Are you still involved in music?
I gave it. So, long story short, actually in your hometown, I was in Las Vegas. I turned 31. No, 30. I turned 30. And
you did that.
No gang signs. No gang. I was trying to throw up the LV, but that's LA. Las Vegas?
I was in Vegas on my 30th birthday, and I woke up on my 30th birthday depressed, and I rapped from age 19 to 30, and I just felt like it was done. Like, and I haven't wrote anything since. It's the weirdest thing. I woke up, I was crying to my wife and everything. I was like, I think I'm done with music. It was such a big part of my life that it hurt.
Was it like your career?
Were you playing shows, gigs, or?
I was pursuing a career, and I never took it off the ground. I was known, but that means nothing if you, like, yes, I got paid.
Okay. Real important question here. What was your rap name?
The last name was Tyvan. So that's which is my first and middle name. Before that, it was the Kid Big Ty.
The Kid Big Ty.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got a new nickname on the show. The Kid.
This is why you don't bring your past up. When this podcast comes out, I'll release a clip so you guys can see.
Are you comfortable in your skin though, Ty? Like, cause with your shirt off, like, right? I am terrified. Like, my post, my shirt off, I hate those, and I don't watch them. But like,
I remember the first day you posted one, and you're like, bro, I posted it. I'm not checking social media for a long time.
Exactly. Right. Are you comfortable, Ty, with your shirt off?
No, I actually hate those videos. That was something my mom suggested, just so people could see, I guess, the transition of me being really big to my goal weight. But a lot of the stuff you see on my stuff is like social media facade. Me smiling all the time, that's intentional. A lot of times I'm
I
really
could see when
sad.
you're not happy though. I could see your smile,
Oh,
bro. I look into
okay.
your smile. Sometimes you ain't feeling it, and I could see it.
I'm not feeling it a lot of
I
times.
read character. I read character and facial, right? And I mean, just me paying attention and watching, I could tell sometimes. But I love to see your excitement, like when you're happy. Sometimes when you was rolling in when you hit that 50, I love that because your natural
Charisma.
right? Is that's what's so magnetic about it. And maybe you have to have a little bit of a persona for Instagram. We all try to, right? But your natural is just there, and I think that's what's so captivating.
But this is
Anybody that posts,
I
right?
agree. I agree. So again, just to bring you guys behind the curtain, I TMI. I I weigh myself naked in the morning, right? So I do that because there's two different weighings. I see my real weight when I'm naked, and then there's a way for me to finagle that weight. So when I put on my tights or whatever, I don't know why putting on tights adds 2 pounds. I don't get that. It literally adds 2 pounds. But if I hold the door handle, it takes weight off. So I match my naked weight. So when you guys see me acting like I see my new low for the first time, that's not my first time seeing that. I probably had to record like 4 to 5 times. So it's like there's those reactions are not natural. It's me putting on.
Damn, well, you fooled me, you
Yeah,
actor.
Honestly, though, it is natural in a sense because you're still that, like, when you hit a new low, you're going to be excited for a few hours. Like, it's still a realistic reaction because you're still like, yes, let's go. Because mine's the same thing, right? Like, when I did my weigh-in videos and I would hit a new low, I was, like, super pumped. And it may not have been an immediate reaction, but it was still authentic.
But hear me out. This is the thing, because this is my third journey. When I do my first weigh-in, I'm not excited. Like I get on, even if it's a new low, it's just like, all right, because I understand this is a part of the process. This is what I'm doing it for. So I get on the scale. I'm like, all right, bet. I take a picture so I can have it for my own personal documentation. Everything you guys seeing is literally it's me putting on, creating excitement. But if I was to be legit, it just be like, oh, new low. All right, bet. You know what I'm saying?
I need to edit this. I hope your followers don't get disappointed with your truth right now.
They may. But I mean,
no, I'm just kidding.
It feels good saying it.
Yeah,
because
it's authentic.
Times, yeah, a lot of times when I do it, when I post, I'm like, bro, I was mad that day. I didn't want to like Jordan. He says he can see it. I'm kind of glad he can see it. I'm not always happy, bro. That joke, I do it because I want to put the image of positivity out. But half the time,
well,
I'm
I
not
think
even
the thing
like
that you show the most, you live exactly what you say you are, and what you are is consistent. And regardless of your emotion or how you felt that day, you consistently do it, and you do the same thing. You don't have to, like, me and Jesse have had multiple conversations about daily posts and like, dude, what are we gonna do every day? Like, how are we gonna keep it going every day, right? And you don't have to think about it. So at the end of the day, you have consistency, and I think that above speaks way louder.
Honestly, though, that's like one of the hardest parts about being a content creator in general is that on days when you're upset, it is so hard to record. I actually posted on my story the other day about how I was feeling really upset and I wanted to eat food because I was so upset. And I recorded a whole long reel about it. I still have the reel on my phone. It's like a minute and a half long, talking about how I'm sad and I want to eat food. And I looked at it and I'm like, this is just depressing. Nobody wants to see this, right? Like, that's one of the hardest parts about being a content creator is if you're too authentic, sometimes you're just going to be depressing because we're not always happy. That's just reality. And you don't want people to see that side of you sometimes.
I agree. I don't know.
Episode 2? Is that it? I mean, tell us that.
I was just gonna say I'm glad that we're doing this podcast because I feel like this is my authentic self. Like I want people to see this. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what I think is great about this is all three of us are just being natural and authentic, and it's just real, and we can be ourselves and not feel like there's anyone judging us because we're all bros.
Yep. I love it, and I thank y'all for doing it. This feels more authentic and realistic than me doing the content. I like this way more.
We're gonna record the next 6 episodes because I don't even want to end this conversation. Like we could just talk forever, and that's the best part. Like we all sat here 3 hours ago. We're looking at each other like, what the hell are we gonna do? And the way that we fell into these conversations and found this is like, this is gonna be fun, boys.
It's very inspiring.
I agree 100%.
Best advice, worst advice of the week for Jesse.
Best advice, strength train. Everybody should be doing it. If you are not and you're nervous about it, invest in a coach. A coach is the absolute best money that I spent. I've spent a lot of money on this journey. We talked earlier about me spending $20 on one 6-pack of soda or 12-pack of soda. That was not wisely spent. I've spent crazy money on supplements, on protein powders, on just about everything you could think of, new clothes, tons and tons of things. The absolute best money I spent was on a coach. A coach will hold you accountable. They'll teach you things that you think that you might know, you don't. Most coaches out there are fantastic people, and they just want to help. So if you're nervous about getting into strength training, find a coach. Do your research. Don't just hire anybody. Put in time, put in effort, look for the right coach for you. Make sure that you kind of quiz them on what kind of coach they are and how that fit will be before you start paying them. Don't go to a gym and just get whatever coach they give you. Seek somebody out and start lifting, because it is incredibly good for you. It is incredibly beneficial in infinite ways. It is by far the best form of exercise. It improves life longevity. It makes you stronger. It makes you feel better. It improves your confidence. It is just the absolute best thing you can be doing on a weight loss journey. Worst advice, eating carnivore. Eating carnivore is bad. Balanced diets are good. Eat whole foods. Carnivore was invented as a form of a dietary restriction to find food sensitivities. So you would eat carnivore for a month, and then after a month, you would slowly start to reintroduce foods. You would reintroduce, say, berries, and then bread, and then pasta, and then, whatever. You're add things back in slowly until you start to see what was causing the problem. So, for example, you have cystic acne or something like that. Once you add his food back in and the acne comes back, boom, you found your food sensitivity. That's the purpose of carnivore. That's what it was made for, right? And for that purpose, carnivore is fantastic. But that's a medicinal purpose, right? If you want to eat keto, if you want to eat carnivore because you enjoy it, okay. But don't do it long term. And just have some carbs. Your brain runs on glucose. Yes, you can produce glucose via gluconeogenesis. That is a thing. Guess what? That's not as available to your body as actual glucose. Where does actual glucose come from? Carbs. Eat carbs. They're good for you.
Good carbs, though. Don't eat bad carbs.
Yes, you should be eating at least 80% whole foods. More if you're Jay, because Jay is a very broken individual.
I'm not broken. I'm working on peak performance mentally and physically. I'll have you guys know. I am hitting my physical peak at 34 years old, and I did not know what it felt like. And I'm telling you, boys, I'll advocate for everybody. Cut out the sugar, cut out the junk food, keep moving every day. Like, the way I feel now is phenomenal. I can't ask for more.
I don't blame you, but I like carbs.
And
I
like
eat carbs
sugars.
every day.
I like to be able to eat what I want. There's
I eat what I want.
Sure, within reality.
I don't want those things. And we could go into it. I could hit a trigger word that could send us into a 3-hour longer conversation, but we're going to save it.
All right. We'll save that for next time. We'll see you for episode 3 of the CPM podcast. As always, thank you for listening. Appreciate you very much. I'm Progressive Overhaul.
I'm Jay Keeps Moving.
And I'm Consistent Beast.
Give us a follow on social media. Follow CPM Podcast. We'll see you for episode 3.